Are you trying to figure out how to hire people? What is involved in the hiring process? Maybe you looked into it and then you just got freaked out by all of the things that could go wrong along the way. Well, in this video, I'm going to give you all of the things, all the steps you need to know to hire your first person. Now, make sure you stick to the end because I'm going to give you a list of tools that are going to be essential for hiring the right person. All right, the first thing you need to do is write up the job application. So what are the requirements you need? What are the details? What are the responsibilities that that person will need to take on? What is the job title? Is this going to be one person who does multiple things? Or is this one person who's only in marketing, only in customer service, only as an assistant? Figure out exactly what position they have and then write up the correct job draft for them. So make sure when you're doing this that you are very specific and extremely detailed in exactly what you want. Why is this important? Well, maybe you can say, I'm looking for a very enthusiastic, go-getter type of person. Okay, that could be very vague. Anybody can do that. But make sure you're a little bit more detailed, is able to take on multiple tasks at one time. Like, be very specific at what type of person you're looking for, because then it's going to help filter out the applicants a little bit more for you. If you need some help in this regard, definitely check out like ChatGPT. Ask ChatGPT, write a job description for me and include these specific things. Then you can at least have an outline to go off of and then make it more detailed from there to really make sure it fits exactly what you're looking for. Do not overlook this. And you'll also want to make sure that you show a little bit of what you're looking for. So for example, if you are looking for a social media manager, okay, then put a little picture of what you would put on your social media and ask them to create 2 or 3 titles that are funny or engaging or interesting so that you can get a taste of what they are capable of. That is really gonna also help filter out those that you don't want to apply. Definitely get creative with the job application. Make sure you can test them right then and there. Make sure you get exactly what you're looking for all in one go. All right, once you have thrown it out there, maybe you promote your job listing on your own social media, on your Instagram stories or as a post. You can also put it onto Upwork or wherever else they have freelancers like Fiverr.com and whatnot. Just have the post out there and just let it linger, let it steam up in there for a little while. And then you want to go to the next step, which is pre-screening your candidates. So this is going to be one of the most time-consuming parts, but it is worth it for you to find your ideal candidate. So you really want to make sure when you're doing this that you do not skim. It's going to be really hard not to. Maybe get some extra help with this if you need it, but really make sure you take the time to look through things. This is why having something like make a caption for this picture in the job application is going to be really useful, because if that is what's most important for you, then go straight to that part of the job application and see what they put in there. See exactly what you're looking for. If they do check off all the boxes, but maybe they can't make a great caption for that one picture, then okay, move on, but then see who else could be a good fit. Now, be tedious. It is tedious, and really go through what they provide to you. So for example, if you are looking for a YouTube manager, okay, look at what kind of portfolio they have for being a YouTube manager elsewhere. So those kinds of things. So you get my drift. Really take your time pre-screening. Hey, quick interruption, just to announce that we are getting so close to hosting our exclusive workshop on how to launch a YouTube channel that scales your revenue to 6 or 7 figures in just 2 hours per week. And it's going to be hosted by our founder, the one that we all love, Marissa Romero. In this workshop, you're going to learn Marissa's 4-part framework that creates an evergreen YouTube channel that's going to provide and keep pushing out passive income just to you. And most importantly, turn your subscribers into sales. You're gonna learn the top 3 mistakes that new creators always make, which always cost the business owners money, time, and how you can just avoid it all from the beginning. Not only that, you're also going to get a never before seen YouTube system that's going to light your content creation production on fire. So this is perfect for you if you are a business owner who is wanting to create a profitable YouTube channel from scratch and have it be your main source of marketing for your business. Or if you are a business owner who already started a channel, but you're not seeing the growth and success that you were hoping for, and you're trying to find some way to supercharge your impact and your revenue. So what are you waiting for? Be sure to register for this workshop. It's going to be the first link in our description, and the page looks just like this. See you at the workshop. All right. Next thing you need to do is make a little short list and then conduct your interviews. So figure out who are the best candidates. You don't want to try to interview everybody. That would be a real pain for everybody's schedule. But do make sure that you try to at least get a good amount of people. If you want, you can try maybe just 2 at a time, see if like the top 2, if they're available and whatnot, try to make some kind of like appointment with them to schedule an interview. If not, you can also try to go like with 2 to 4, maybe 5. That seems like a lot, but try at first little by little. Okay, if you find your top 2 people that you like, then first schedule some interviews with them. Now, once you actually get a hold of them and you are in the interview process, that is when you really need to make sure you plan out what kind of questions you want to ask them. Now, focus on experience. Focus on what kind of experience they can offer, who they've worked for before, and then it doesn't hurt like right in the moment to ask them, okay, like here's an example of something that we're working with. What is your take on this? If, for example, we're looking for new titles for this one YouTube video, what kind of titles could you give it? So those very specific questions, not necessarily the questions that are still important, like what would you do if there is a conflict in the team kind of thing. Those are still important, but really focus on the capabilities and their experience and how they can actually demonstrate them in the interview, not only on the job application, but in the interview. Also, you make sure that you inquire about their knowledge on the software that you use, because for example, maybe you are well versed into Kartra, but maybe they have never used Kartra before, maybe they use Kajabi. Okay, then you can ask, how quick can you catch on to something? How quickly can you learn something? Give me an example of when you had to learn a software really quickly. So those kinds of things. Or if it's not pressing for you and you're okay with them taking their time to learn, then let them know that. Alleviates a little bit of pressure off of them as well. Also, during the interview, make sure that you're being very honest as to not only what the responsibility is for the role, but how often you need them to communicate with you. So if theoretically you decide to hire that person, ask them, okay, theoretically, would you be willing to work from this hour to this hour with no breaks? Are you willing to be able to report back to me at this time of the week, every single week? Those specific things. Make sure it's all out there, that you're being transparent with what the role really requires, because it's not only about you wanting them, they need to want you as well. Another thing that you should also know in your interview is that you want to make sure that you are aware of if you are just looking for someone short term, or if you're looking for someone long term, or if you're looking for someone who is going to build your company with you. And this was actually a big question that I got when I was being interviewed to work for Team Marissa Romero. So at the time, the interviewer, who was not Marissa, she asked me like, okay, we are looking for someone who is ready to build this company with us. Like, we are not looking for someone to just stay for 2-3 years. We are looking for someone who is there for the long haul, and you have to be okay with all of the uncomfortable situations that happen until we make it. At first I was like, whoa, that's a loaded question, because I felt immediately like, if I'm committing to this, I have to commit. But I decided that I was going to commit to that, and look where we are now. It's all worked out a couple, 2-3 years later. And so that's what you really want to convey. If it's like someone that you really need for a long haul, make sure that you're really clear about that. All right, so hopefully after you've gone through some interviews and you found the right person, make sure that you add some kind of agreement with them that they will go through about 30 to 60 day probation period. Why is this important? Well, sometimes we don't hire the right choice the first time, and that's okay, that happens. So if you're transparent with them and you say, hey, let's just see how it goes for 30 days. Let's see how quick you learn the material, how you deliver what we ask from you, and also see if you are a good team member with everybody else in the team. So make sure that you say like, this is a period where we are going to see how it goes, because then that's not only gonna make them work harder in that period, but also you're gonna see what they can actually deliver to you. And sometimes it's not a perfect fit, like I said. So at the end of those days, you can say, hey, it actually, like, it just didn't work out, or we appreciated the time that you put in, but blah, blah, blah. So that's okay. It happens. And actually, it's much better than sticking it out for a while and you're stuck with someone who you didn't actually like after the trial period. So it's better to just have that period, let them know about it, let them go, or keep them on after those 30 or 60 days. All right, and of course, after you've interviewed them, after you've been extremely transparent with them over everything, then you need to make your final selection. One thing that can help with this is by doing some reference checks. And so don't just skim this by either. So like, make sure that they can back up what has been said from your communication with this person up until that point by somebody else. And so do contact their old employers, do contact whoever you ask them to be as a reference for, because that could actually show a lot of their character and you'll get a better idea of what to expect. Because maybe you'll call an employer and they don't seem that enthusiastic. Maybe they're like, oh yeah, she was good, she was fine. But maybe another employer's like, oh my gosh, like they were incredible, like we are so sad that she is moving on, blah, 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 blah. Like you'll get a different perspective just by calling their references. So keep that in mind too. And finally, make your choice. Decide who it's going to be and start with the onboarding process. So that's a whole other video about onboarding, which I can link down below. And also make sure you sign up for our workshop that's coming up soon. All right, now, if you want to keep going with this YouTube train, check out this next video over here where I talk about all of the different income streams you should be adding to your YouTube channel right now so that you don't have to rely on Google AdSense or YouTube partner money. All right, just over here. Are you a content creator who is really relying on your YouTube revenue? Well, guess what? It is time to break free from the uncertainty of where your revenue is coming from and have more control over how much money you make, and not only that, make more of it.